tremendous complement to other efforts, and I call direct mail really the buttress. Direct mail is if you're doing radio, you can have direct mail buttress from the side. Or you can do direct mail and maybe have radio or email buttress from the side. It's just a matter of how you use it. Direct mail can be affordable if you're very clear in your outcome. It is probably the thing I like most about direct mail, and this is why it's used for political, is that it's non-invasive. Direct mail is not cold calling, it's not robocalling, it's not pushing buttons necessarily. It actually is the most genial of all the communication tools. Even email, wrongly done, can actually create a negative effect in return. You gotta be very careful. But direct mail, people are used to it, it's a familiar process, and it doesn't invade your home in the same way some of these other communication tools do. Direct mail can be targeted, pinpointed, we all sort of know this, but it's not clear that we all actually do it. It is measurable and repeatable, and it's one of the things I absolutely like about direct mail, is that you can quantify what is happening, and you can repeat the process or refine the process. You can't always do that if you don't get real information back, and it's from anything. You can do this with radio, but you have to be very clear. And then one thing, again, we're jumping ahead, if you're clear on your outcome, and you know how you want to measure that outcome, direct mail can be great, but the tool is only as good as the plan. So direct mail is very good, but we have to quantify, know how we're going to hit something or an audience, what we're hitting, and then we put the XY grid together and see how do we plot the effectiveness of this. But direct mail is an excellent tool because you can measure who calls, why they're calling. You can do a coupon. We'll get into this a little bit. Like here, this is a card tariff coupon. Turn this in for cash, something like that. There's a lot of novel things you can do with direct mail that you can't necessarily do with more intangible types of, like billboards. It's hard to always, people remember seeing a billboard. It's not knocking billboards, but at the level, you just sort of have to see what works. One of the things I like about direct mail is tactile. It feels substantive. There's something weighty about having a piece of mail. So magazines are having it come back right now, and direct mail gives you the sense of legitimacy. And direct mail actually also gives you a sense of 50% of consumers in the United States still trust anything in print. And more so than online. Because people can fake online reviews in Amazon. They can do all sorts of things that aren't really necessarily true. It's hard to determine the truthfulness. But direct mail, and this includes newspapers and magazines, other things. If people go through the process and effort to print something, it's deemed to be more reliable. And it's just human nature. And so again, these are things why it's still valid to talk about direct mail.